Harvey for taking a bit of time this morning to share his market take on the markets right now. So I'll just turn it over to you, Harvey. Thank you.
Yeah. And why isn't it open now? Would be the question. So Harvey Jackson, I've been working as a grain marketing advisor for a number of years. I guess I started in 2010 as grain marketing advisor, and with Cargill and then FBN until they shut the doors, and then moved over to doing it independently. And what I will say is, enjoying a lot of what's going on for sure in the markets, doing it on my own and starting to do because I get up too early in the morning, just like Dean over here. So I was always collecting information in the morning. So now I'm just putting together a little bit of a PowerPoint every morning.
So what you should have, there you go, Harvey. Now we got it straight. Yeah. You were having an infinity screen and you just had to pick the individual one, so you're good to go.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So what I've got here is just it's playing at the same time. Yeah. So just going through some of the major things that are going on in each like here's your minimum temperature, because I don't know if there's been any frost. So if I'm going to pull a screen, I'm going to pull a screen and just have a look at it, right? And you can see that there's some so you could see that there's where even growing degree days are really high. We could actually grow soybeans probably almost anywhere in the southern part of the provinces here, which is kind of cool, right? But but if we move along, you could see that there's a lot of drought. There's been 72-hour kind of a moisture thing going on here too, right? So moisture here in a lot of different spots, of course, going across, and even in the U.S., you probably would have a lot of delays in the percent harvested, and yet where they're going to be is another question, right? So yeah. So here's just and you can see that there's just end this and just go from here because it's playing the recording. Can you see this?
Now you went to infinity. It was working before. And
okay.
For some reason, you guys are hearing sound, but I'm just going to. Brett, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, Harvey was cutting in and out there a bit, but otherwise.
Sorry about that.
Nope, not your fault. Something going on with your system there. Yeah.
It's probably my internet is not as fast as it needs to be. I'm going to stop sharing and maybe go back in because it's causing issues here.
I think.
There.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's better. Let me know. Listening.
Don't show this again. There's my infinity screen.
Yeah, and then you just got to go show the page or something like that. There's a thing, there's an option for you to pick it.
Well, I said the entire screen, but maybe I'm on the wrong.
Yeah, let's say share, and then you can share the screen or whatever. Okay, that's better.
Yeah. I'll just make, because it was playing. So what I did here is you can see that this is a 2-week forecast, and there's actually where everybody's talking about the moisture being deficit in this area here, where the major growing soybean area is in Brazil. it's going to start catching moisture, and what it is these monsoons or the tropical winds have to basically cover the land, and this looks like it's going to start building into October. So this is October 10th or 7th, and you're going to start to see this moisture start to get in there. So the rise in the oilseed complex is kind of I don't know why. It must be maybe a delay in the harvest or something, or shrinking of the soybean crop itself in the U.S. That's my guess. And here you can see very little moisture actually hitting some of the planting regions in if you can see where my mouse is, in Ukraine and even Western Russia as well. There's some very little moisture, and so whether they're going to plant or not, because they've got a lot more time there than we do in Canada to plant. It's just like Kansas could be planting up until I think the end of November for crop insurance, right? So the couple of things that actually were in the news this morning, and this is one, the Indian monsoon, and it's actually looking like it's going to be more than sufficient. So if we're counting on them not getting moisture, because what they, and if you can read it here, that the monsoons basically fill up their reservoirs, and it accounts to 70% of their moisture that they need is actually held in these reservoirs for their growing season, which is kind of cool. Palm oil's been up for a few days, so just quickly going through the charts. This here is a trend line that I put on here, and it needs to stick above this 20-day moving average as well. So the trend is good, but we need to keep on running on this trend line. If we break below, we could be falling all the way back to this kind of a level with some of these other possible catches in here with these retracements. Same thing on the rapeseed. It's actually got less distance to go to get to that short-term move up, but it's got the right trend. So the oil seeds are actually holding the right trend. Here you got rapeseed. So you got rapeseed price in Canadian dollars minus the canola price, and we're $116 as of today. So I hate to say it, but I want to break this trend line, and that's very likely to try to get into this $60 to $80 mark, where I think like if we can go from 116 to $60, that could mean that canola has gained that differential. So you got basically $60 in your pocket that could be adding to canola over our price that we see today. And it's not linear like that, but it's definitely given us a linear trend since last October of the canola being too cheap. Here's your soybean oil. It's actually even got a steeper trend than the canola. We're getting closer to the top end of this green retracement value. So above 42 cents is actually a very good place. Soybeans, not a steep curve at all. So it almost feels like we can break down at any point in time with this small, not a very steep curve. But if you look at palm oil, we're almost too steep of a curve, and that could break down just with one bad day, because it's been 5 days of up and pretty strong up. Here you got your crude oil. We don't want that one to go up. That actually hurts the economies, but it's one that I'm paying attention to because there's a relationship between some of the veg oils and your crude oil as well. But it's on a bit of a run there too. I'm hoping it could actually possibly stop here. Canadian dollar is in this consolidation range right here, and that's not going to help if we go up. If it does, my suggestion on this video is to maybe look at if you got stuff priced in US dollars, to maybe look at moving and converting it to Canadian when we get into this kind of a range or a part of it. Wheat does not have a good trend. It's basically sideways to trading sideways, and you're looking for it to go up, even though I think there's potential for this market to go up, but we're close to the bottom that we've been trading at for quite some time. You can see a longer term chart on the red winter here, and basically consolidating right around this 20 and 50-day moving average. And we've got to stick that, otherwise we're going back down to where the values where we were before. All the wheats are saying the same thing. Corn trading sideways. And any time we've got a little blip like this, it was actually fairly strong sales. China buying some corn, and we're yet to see harvest in the corn. Oats actually has a pretty nice run in here, looking for some get back to the 385, and then we can possibly test that 410. And the next report's next week, a week from today, I guess, the U.S. Grain stocks for September, and that'll just give us a picture of what's kind of out there yet. And that's pretty well all I have in the charts.
Excellent. Thanks, Harvey. I've got a, did you have more to chat about?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you. So what I had a few questions for you, and if you're not there yet in your mind, that's fine. But one is, what percentage sold are you at with canola? What are you encouraging guys to be at today-ish?
So if a guy had to price today, so there's a difference between that and where we already are, right?
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. What percent are you for your clients? No.
We're anywhere from 50 to 60% sold, and that's, if I go back to the chart, we were pretty good about hitting some of those little peaks before they pull back. Like we and priced some from last year as well. The other thing that I would want to maybe mention is I'm pretty interested in looking at the carry that we have from one crop year to the next that we have. It's not huge, but if we get a little bit of a run and we see that carry with, let's call it $30, and it's not quite there yet, but have that $30 carry, price it for next year. So you look at grain companies who will actually do futures only kind of contracts, because not very many will offer an actual cash price out there yet.
Okay, thank you.
So build some pricing there. And wheat is about probably only 40%. But I think we did move on some of the pulses just recently as well to get to 50, 60. Because looking at the good weather that we're getting in India, the possibility of them, like especially for the yellow peas, in that case, we are going to be. They extended the October deadline to December, so that's still not a lot of time, and there could be different movement out in west versus east, but eastern half the prairie provinces, we don't see really good appetite to buy. any of those pulses come December through March. Like they might be bidding for something for the summer come March, but there's no appetite to buy. So we're looking at that as an opportunity to maybe utilize those bins or whatever and hold some of those stocks into the summer, but not holding my breath in what with the rainfall that we're seeing in India and those kind of things as well.